Hey guys, so I am going to work with markers today. You know, I've kind of fell in love with the Crayola markers, but I have, these are called Tanmit that I got off of a deal, a prime deal, and they're fine. And then I have been sort of slowly collecting Tombos, and I really do enjoy the markers because I like that they're like watercolors, but they give such a vibrancy. So my thought was that I was going to play with the markers today and see what I do, because there's just a lot going on in a glass of iced tea. So here we go. I do not have it with the absorbent ground because the absorbent ground really does suck the markers dry. So all I have on my page right now is clear gesso. So let's see what happens. Here we go. So here we go. You know, the thing that I want you to keep in mind while you're doing this week is that it's got to stay really light, and it's got to be just sort of like splotches of the page showing through with the clear colors showing through. It can't get real heavy and real opaque, because like the light shining into that iced tea is going to make it almost translucent and golden, you know what I mean? So so there's a little bit of a challenge here this week in working with all the different colors to try to bring that translucency out at the same time making it feel weighted, like it's a liquid in the glass. So the reason that I did choose the markers is because they are just a little bit easier to control as I'm going around and I'm trying to leave these splotches of white in there. So I really did enjoy working with them on the page. They worked great with just the clear gesso as a base for them. I had really no problems. They performed just beautifully. So I give 2 thumbs up now. 2 weeks in a row, I'm going to say that the markers have been great. So let's say that you wanted to get, see how I left a little bit white there on that. Now listen here, I do not know where that came from, but I just got a piece of green. I don't even know where it came from, but you see how I'm just picking it up with water. So in watercolor or markers, water-based media, you can use the water as an eraser. So notice that I am leaving just splotches of white on the ice cubes. So markers, right? So where are you going to get markers? You know, really any water-based markers with a brush tip are just super duper. The ones that, those Tamit, something like that, that I got, those were a special on Prime, 24 for a couple of bucks. So I got them and just thought, well, let me see what they feel like and how they perform in a Bible, you know, on the pages. And they've been just great. The tips run out kind of a little bit quicker on the markers, but I really do really the watercolors and the watercolor markers and the Copics are truly my 3 mediums now that I just love to grab hold of and use. They're really, those 3 have become my exclusive 3. So all right, so here just adding in the you see how it's got some colors, it's got that golden, it's sort of not getting real dark real fast. So that is where I'm going to try to keep it, trying to get some of that paint up a little bit so that I can have just the white of those ice cubes kind of catching the light, you know, shimmering in the light. So I'm getting ready to do the straw here, and what I want you to notice is that I'm doing I know, what are you going to ask? What is that? So this is a koi, I think it's a koi watercolor brush. I really am very like, I will just use any kind of product. If I like a product or alcohol based marker or a water based marker, I will just get whatever if they're on sale. But here, notice how I'm leaving the middle of the straw not colored in, because I'm imagining that that's where the light is kind of grabbing, and that gives more of a 3D look to the straw. So I'm just putting it in on either side and coming in with the white right smack dab in the middle there. I know that the bend of my straw is a hot mess there, but you know what? It's fun. It's loose. It's an easy little drawing. So I'm okay with the straw looking a little bit like it's a hot mess. So we're going to start now laying in just sort of the outer skeleton of that glass, right? Because we still have to define it that the liquid is in something, even though the glass is clear. So notice that the orange is tucked onto the rim, so the back of the glass is not visible while the front of the glass is visible. And the orange is going to be seen hanging into that glass because the glass is clear, right? So do you see how I got rid of the back line of the glass? Well, Lisa, move your hand. Got rid of that black line so that the orange can sit into the glass. I'm doing the same exact thing with the gray that I did with the blue, in that I'm leaving in that white right smack dab in the middle. There's my hot mess. And you know what? See, look, it looks fine. You can't even tell that it's a hot mess, right? So finishing up with my gray here. Do you guys know that there is a Facebook community where we do this all together and we share in the Psalms? We have prayer requests. We have a nightly prayer request where we pray for each other. We do salt leaks or salty sidewalks, whereas we take, like, so this week we're working on Psalm 34. So the challenge is then is to make some sort of like an ATC or a tag or something with Psalm 34, and then just kind of abandon it somewhere out in the world, in your grocery stores, in your gas station, wherever, just so that this inner conversation that we have with the Lord every day, every week through our Psalms finds an outer manifestation in the world. So come on over and check it out. Get to be part of a community. I think so many of us just miss to have just a community where we can just fellowship and there's no pressure, and it's just a great bunch of women that come together in a love of the Lord and creativity. What could be bad with that? So this is an orange peel. Now, I don't know, some people might have thought it was a lemon peel. You can make yours a lemon peel, but mine, I wanted it to be orange. I'm trying to get in a little bit of those golden colors, and see how there I'm not really keeping it, because you figure that like it's moving, it's bubbling with the ice moving around. So I'm kind of staying with a little bit of bubbling down there. You see how down on the bottom right there? Yeah, I've got kind of just this sort of like free, organic kind of squigglies to just have it so that the liquid's flowing and moving around. Look at that. I just want a glass of that, don't you? So, okay, so that orange peel, I'm going to take, so I'm kind of using very muted creams on the rind, and then I'm taking a brighter orange right around that outside, where the orange peel is, the orange peel. So, and then it's a crazy little thing, like an orange peel has got, like all of these like itty little bitty dots. So we're going to put those dots into the orange peel, orange rind, orange skin. I don't know what you call it, but we're going to get those in just a bit. Now there's going to be a shadow up along that rind, and from the middle there's going to be, so you want to drop in a little bit more color right close to the center and up into your rind, into where the flesh of the orange meets that rind. Whoop, right there. See how that's going to have just a more of a shadow. And then, an orange is really pretty because it's got these sort of like long cells, these long glistening like cells that make up an orange. So I'm just quickly trying to get those kind of in. I'm going to use water now and sort of mush that out a little bit so that it, and again, you want to keep it light. You want to try to keep it so that some of those, because remember that the orange has those little cells catch the light and that glistens as a white. So, it's looking all very monochromatic right now, and it's not in my book, so I don't know. It's funny that here it all looks brown. In my book, I promise you it's more red, so I might have to check my my settings on my camera because that's looking a little bit not like it looks like in real life. But I'm just coming back in here. Imagine it to be red, oranger, and just kind of grabbing out some of that color so that it can look like the little glimpses of light are grabbing hold of it. So I really am enjoying the markers for the past 2 weeks. They go down where I ask them to, and they don't argue with me like the watercolors do sometimes. So on this medium, on this clear gesso, they really do perform very, very well. So here I'm dropping in that shadow because there'd be just a little bit of a shadow coming in where that was sitting on the glass. It's sitting right on the edge of that glass there. And this is putting in those sort of little dots. Let's see if when I get closer, if it gets more orange. Well, no, it still looks a little bit like iced tea, like my orange has been tea stained. I will check the settings on my camera to make sure that my colors are coming through a little bit better. Uh, so you can see kind of a little bit on the orange rind that it's orange, but for the most part, it looks like a tea stained orange. So I'm just popping in those little dots on the rind. And that's just that texture. It just kind of gives another layer to the drawing, to the illustration. So I really like this one. I thought that this one was a cute little visual to drink deeply of the pleasures of this god. So I love when he gives such a cute little visual. Some of them are hard. Some weeks it's really hard to come up with an image, like some of the Psalms where they're just like, kind of despondent. I'm like, oh Lord, I don't know what to draw. So I love when there's something that can be light and easy and fun that you can kind of pick up on and bring out. I'm just checking here to see if it's running through, and it's not. It's staying on the one page. So here I just want to kind of come in with a brown. This truly was, I think this was a brown. I guess we can look at the color of it, but this is kind of just bringing out those shadows that are going to be on right in there under the rind and in close to the middle of the orange, the core of the orange, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't know what the parts of an orange are called really. So just getting in just another layer of, I think that is sort of like a neutral kind of creamy brown that I'm using there to pop in some depth. See, I love how it looks right up there with that. It really does make it feel like that rind is around the flesh of the orange. So I really do like that. So because that part of the orange is inside the glass, you've got to reclaim the glass. Do you see that? Because that piece of orange is going around and then the other part's sitting on the outside of the glass. So you have to kind of get the whole front of the glass sort of outlined so that it looks like the orange is in there. And here I'm just saying that I'm redefining that this is iced tea in the front here, not orange. That orange is sitting in the liquid of the iced tea there. So it's a little bit trippy to kind of think about the fluids and all of that. So just a little bit trippy. So go loose, go light. Don't get it too dark, because then you're going to lose that translucence of all that. I don't know, all of that great light bouncing in and around the iced tea. Oh my goodness. I actually might do a class on this because this was just such a fun. This was just such a fun subject. I thought it just reminds me of summer, and it's just a super sweet, fun little drawing to do. So, okay, so I think I'm almost ready for the colored pencils. I think I just am thinking here I would like to pick up a little bit of that, but it's not picking up. It is done. It is on there. So I think I might be getting ready to grab colored pencils after this. Now again, that thing that's behind there is just an old folder that gives me a nice hard surface to work on, because at this point now I've got a bunch of papers, that I'm not halfway through the book, but I'm a good way into the book, and if you don't have something firm down there, it just feels squishy, and I can't get a good solid writing doesn't come out as well. It just comes out a little bit squishy. So so dropping in on my brown orange a little bit of brown um, to 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 sort of shadow in that it is definitely on that glass there. So I promise you, it is not that brown. It is truly. It looks like an orange in my drawing. Isn't that funny? Um, so I'm thinking that we're up to colored pencils now. I might be kind of just grabbing them from behind me. Oh, no, I lied to you. I love how brown and blue looks together. That's why I chose it to drop in just a little bit of shadow down there, just a pop of blue, just to give that little bit of contrast. Doesn't that just like it just brings it alive? You know, you've got that brown and blue, you've got that orange and blue, and ooh, I just love it when you use complementary colors. Blue and orange are opposite each other. It's very pleasing, it's very dynamic, it's just fun, you know. And then that blue on the straw is sort of grounded in, and it just gives you the viewer a pleasing sense that there's more than one place of just blue. So I just love that. I really just love that. So giving it a really good drying because and I don't even get it really. I'm not even doing it on the bottom where I need it. Come on, Lisa, concentrate, concentrate. Um, I want it really dry before I come in with the colored pencils. So I'm really trying to get it dry. And then guess what? Right there where I put my thumb. Yeah, no, wasn't dry at all. So pop it in where I find it to be important that I want the white to show through. So I am claiming that with a white colored pencil there. Um, and just allowing that sort of where the bend of the not the bend where the round top of the straw hits to really claim that with light. So here what I want to do is I want to define the glass and put the liquid behind the glass, if you will. So by putting in that reflective light of the glass, it sort of does it pushes back the liquid and allows the glass to be the front part. Um, so dropping that in on both sides um, so that it houses the liquid, not that the liquid is just sort of hanging out in space, but it is housed within that cool frosty glass. So yeah, 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 yeah. So let's see what I'm gonna do next. You see, you think I know, but I don't know. I'm just a watching and waiting with you. So you see, okay, let's see what this comes out even semi orange. Ah, yeah, but it was. So actually, what I'm doing here is I'm actually adding highlights to the orange, um, but to my tea stained orange appearance there. Um, I think we're gonna write. I have to have the folder under there. I'm just trying to get the camera right for you. I have to have that folder under there, otherwise I will not get um, a clear image on this color pencil. So I have to have a nice um, hard surface underneath there. So I want to kind of keep within the same color palette and not strike too far out. Um, so yeah, see, I'm going to put those two little words together. Now you know that I never ever ever just leave it like that. So I'm going to come in with a darker brown and pop in a shadow on the right side of the letters. Nice sharp pencil really makes this not um, difficult, and it defines the letters. If I didn't have a really sharp pencil, um, it would just get muddy. So yeah, see, I almost forgot that one, but I got it. Boom. All right. Now, see here, what I would like is those, right now, those ice cubes just sort of look like they are penciled squares in the, in the iced tea. So here I am. They would be casting a little bit of a shadow off on each other. So I'm just going to pop them up a little bit and kind of let them take up their space through shadow in the glass. Oh my gosh, doesn't that look so much better? It just boom. It just really, um, it makes it more believable. I don't want to go too dark back there. I should have done that before I put the white on. Silly me. But that one back there should have a little bit more brown on it. But I don't want to go through the white. So I'm torn. Um, yeah, see, I'm right in there to give it just a little bit of that it's, you know, refreshing and moving and love it, love it, love it. A ripple. That's what, just a little bit of a ripple up there on top. Um, so I think that's really just about it. That is our drink deeply of the pleasures of this God. I'd love to see yours. I really did enjoy this this drawing. So please show us yours. Show us what you're doing and what yours looks like. Come on over and join the Facebook page. Become part of a great community. We're truly, truly creativity meets community, and we do this life together. So thanks so much, guys, and have a super duper week. Bye.